Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Barchi, Gentle Guide, and I'm really glad that you're here. Since I'm making a series of videos on how to find your life purpose slash calling slash passion, I wanted to make one with a human design element of motivation, and I'll share why in a second. Before I do that, if you don't know your human design motivation, I invite you to watch my video on that topic first. I'll put a link in the description box and the comment section below. Just to refresh your knowledge, motivation is the top right arrow or variable on the personality side of your body chart. Why is motivation important when it comes to your purpose or anything you aspire to do in general? Well, if you watched my videos on values, you probably remember that I've mentioned how values are the underlying fuel for our action. On the other hand, motivation is a way to channel this drive, to create, act, or just contribute to this world. Knowing your motivation can help you figure out how you want to channel your passion, and I'll give you more insight as we go through all of the 6 colors. When you're ready and know your motivation, click on the link on your motivation down below as I already instructed. All right, color number 1, motivation fear. Transference color is need. As you know, color 1 is the first one and primal. It's interested in everything that relates to the foundation of things. When someone knows all the details, they can relax, or rather, they know when they're done researching, when they feel relaxed. For you, whatever you do in life, find companies or opportunities in which you can really dig deep into the skeleton of everything you're working with. I've seen what I've seen as a big problem for color number 1 is that today they don't get time to explore, especially in a corporate world. These people need to rush through and basically live out of their transference, which is need. Sadly for them, that looks like needing to find or research only a chunk of the information that is needed to complete a job. So, not the whole subject, but just a portion of it. This is something that can be very hard for people with motivation fear and can leave them quite frustrated as they don't satisfy their need to leave any stone unturned and get to the bottom of things, but on the contrary, leave them in fear or unfulfilled. However, having this need is important to have good boundaries so that your attitude of being thorough and precise isn't taken advantage of. My suggestion would be whatever the field you're interested in, dig into it in your spare time, or have a hobby which gives you time to play and investigate. Perhaps you also can have a side gig because you are a researcher at heart. In any way, be kind to yourself. Take time for what brings you joy because your needs matter. Okay, everyone. Let me know if there is anything you would like to add. I would also like to hear suggestions from anyone with this color, how much you are able to realize your motivation on a daily basis. And feel free to share some tips for your fellow color one. So, thank you so much. And also, thank you for gently pushing the subscribe or like buttons. I really appreciate you. See you next time. Bye bye. Okay, color number 2, motivation, hope, and transference guilt. From color 1, we continue to color 3. This motivation is called hope. Color 2 is all about having options. The color 1 is about foundation, but with color 2, we go out and explore new things that can be possible. So when you're in alignment with your motivation, you see possibilities, you share hope, and raise the spirit of others. Not long ago, I had a debate with someone about whether we need hope in our lives or not. The other person said that we don't, but I didn't really agree. As the discussion went on, I find that actually both are true, and I'll explain why. When we trust that something is going to happen, when we have faith, we don't need hope. It's not necessary because we know or feel that it will happen, the way we know that the sun will rise each morning. It's just a matter of time or a cycle. However, in today's world, when we might be bogged down by so much heaviness in the news and just day to day life, I believe that hope is imperative because hope, as I said, lifts our spirit and reminds us that we can never know what is going to happen 100% of the time, but we can always hope for the best. And why wouldn't we? So, your role is really to be in this frequency of hope. See hope and spread hope with others. The only important thing to remember is not to get attached to the outcome, or rather, release all expectations. Surrender and hope for the best of all, because you don't know what is best. So don't put a burden on yourself. Okay? That's really, really important. Okay. When it comes to your field of work, apply these principles. You're not a fixer. You aren't here to spot what is wrong, but what should be or what should be corrected. That would be you living in a transference. I would say that probably professions where you need to search for discrepancies, mistakes, and fixing situations wouldn't be up your alley. However, having hope for motivation makes sure you care about your boundaries so that people don't latch on you, providing them with hope while they don't take any action on their part. And again, I want to emphasize, just not being attached to the outcome. That's really, really important. And the other thing, when you notice yourself being too critical of yourself, feeling that you lack this or that, step back and introduce some compassion to yourself. Always be kind to yourself. Okay, I would love to hear from you if you're color 2. What is it that you do, and how do you channel hope in your everyday life? And most importantly, through your passion. And thank you all for gently pushing the subscribe or like buttons. I really appreciate you. See you next time. Bye bye. Color 3, motivation, desire, transference, innocence. Okay, this one is actually the one that I have, so I might be a bit biased. Funny enough, I have color as well as tone both in this color, but honestly speaking, I have been living in transference for most of my life because I've been so heavily conditioned that I'm still actively working on being in alignment with myself and feeling in power. But enough about me. The gist of this one is to allow, and I'm choosing this word deliberately, allow yourself to lead others. It's about you taking responsibility for whatever you set yourself up for. Whether you're a teacher, a facilitator, a guide, a manager, you name it. I find this one very tricky because the transference is innocence. And what happens, or what tends to happen, is that a person with this motivation can become passive. They don't take charge. However, at the same time, they don't enjoy group settings or authority because they're witnessing a position that they would need to embody, but they're choosing not to. When I say choosing, it's not always a conscious choice. I know, I'm aware of that. However, if anyone needs help around this, contact me, okay? So, the idea here is to find what is that you desire to spread forward to others, especially if you're left focused. You want to first acknowledge a certain skill that you have passion for and then pass it on to others, as I mentioned before, guiding them in any sorts of ways that works for you and your authority. If you have a right pointed arrow, I would still say that you want to lead, but it's important that you follow your lead first. Don't allow others to tell you what is right for you. As I'm saying this, I find it funny that I'm telling you what to do, but you know what I mean. You are your own authority. So please get out of transference, my friend, because the world needs your leadership and your heart will be happy when you do so. Because I find that leadership is not out of the need for power, but it's really based on your heart desire. Okay, please comment below if you have been living in alignment with your motivation or if you have ever been in transference and what helped you snap out of it. Thank you for watching and thank you all for gently pushing the subscribe or like buttons. I really appreciate you. See you next time. Bye bye. Color 4, motivation, need, transference, fear. Okay, time to address motivation, color 4, which is need, and transference, for that is fear. If you feel called to, go and watch the video for color 1 to recognize if or when you are in transference. If your motivation is need, you need to focus, and no pun intended, on what is necessary for your life/work or anything really. Ask yourself what you need in order to accomplish the thing that you've chosen. You don't need to research everything in detail or think about things that are not relevant. You can think of yourself as someone who thinks or is focused on what matters or what needs to be done. For that, you obtain integral pieces of information or resources to complete whatever the task on hand demands of you. That also applies to relationships with others. When they ask you for your help, you cut off what is not needed and focus on what is essential and show them that. Don't fall into a trap and engage your mind into ruminating about the things that don't matter. And stay focused on what does. Use your energy wisely to focus on what you need, focus on essentials, on what your environment needs, and you will be a leading force in your life. I would imagine that a job or anyone who forces you to read or investigate every single detail or thing that it's not relevant to you might be hard for you. I can imagine that a position which let you be an authority to choose for yourself, choosing what you want to learn about and develop further, would probably be a good fit. It's also important to learn to trust yourself, that you know how to determine when you have enough and stop searching for more. Trust that you are capable. I hope that I'm making sense. I would love to hear from you as to how you're searching for information, what types of jobs you enjoy, and which ones let you explore what you feel it's important. Let me know in the comment section below, and thank you all for gently pushing the subscribe or like buttons. I really appreciate you. See you next time. Bye bye. Motivation guilt, transference hope. Okay, color 5. You are a fixer, naturally inclined to solve problems in whatever field you feel called or at home at. What drives you is to figure out what can work and what is redundant to work on. For you, it's not about being hopeful, but about seeing what needs to be corrected, taken care of, and resolved in some way. You are the one who notices problems and wants to fix them. When in transference, you might be thinking or saying to others not to worry, giving them hope. That's not really your jam. You don't need to do that. Depending on your authority, you can either initiate or wait for recognition slash invitation to deal with what is needed to resolve an issue. And that applies to your personal issues as well. Speaking of which, there is something I would like to shed a light on. What I've noticed is that some people, when they have this motivation, can get on an endless pursuit to solve their personal problems in the self development field. Well, obviously, we all want to evolve and be a better, kinder, more mature version of ourselves, but there is a catch: knowing when is enough, which means not to get so invested in personal growth, or however you want to call it, so that other parts of your life suffer, if you know what I mean. The reality is, we might never feel that we are healed enough, good enough, complete enough, and so on. However, we can still enjoy life and allow imperfections to provide human experiences for us. And let me know if that resonates with any of you. So, to conclude, fix what is there to be fixed. Forget about being hopeful or believing that things can just magically resolve. That's not what you're here for, my friend. Nope. All right. Speaking about your profession or calling, make sure that you have this attitude, not being a motivational speaker which ignites hope in others, but someone who shares how they resolve something that needed to be resolved, and that by itself can be inspiring. What comes to mind is product development. You're very pragmatic and know how to find things that aren't working and repair them. I could swear that my financial advisor has this motivation because I get to hear all the options, how things can go wrong, and how to best be prepared. She doesn't give me a pinch of hope. Honestly, none. All right. Obviously, there are so many other choices, so I would love to hear from you. Yeah, just let me know how you can express yourself in your work, what type of work lights you up, and have you found a way to navigate living in alignment with your motivation and not being conditioned? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you. And I also want to thank you all for gently pushing the subscribe or like button. I really appreciate you. See you next time. Bye bye. Motivation, innocence, transference, desire. Okay, firstly, there is a high chance that you have been living your life in transference, which means that you have been put in leading positions, need to be responsible for others, and so on. That is not what you're here for. You aren't here to be responsible for other people, let alone lead them. You are color 6, which represents transcendence. You are here to be either a role model or a resource. People need to come to you for your expertise, and it's not about you wanting to motivate them and wanting to teach them or change anyone. You shouldn't have any desires around that. Do you know what I'm getting to? Innocence by itself means having no agenda, having no desires, and also having no motivation whatsoever. You don't need to be motivated to do something. Going about your day and enjoying your life can be the most motivating and inspiring thing for other people to witness. That itself will encourage them to reach out or follow your example. I can say that there is so much room to live this motivation because you don't need to be bothered by others. You are here to be focused on yourself and what feels good to you. I can see content creators, people who are sharing their excitement over something, whatever that is, and not for the sake of influencing others, but to simply share what they're up to and what they enjoy doing. And I'm curious to know, how are you living this motivation? Does it come easy or hard to you? I'm also curious, what type of jobs do you enjoy the most? Let me know. Please do share this in the comment section below so that everyone can learn or get inspired by you. And thank you all for gently pushing the subscribe or like buttons. I really appreciate you. All right. See you next time. Bye bye.